Their stadium may not be completely finished, but Vanderbilt will still be hosting one of the more intriguing Week 0 games as they welcome the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors on Saturday night. And, if history is any indication, this should be a walk in the park for Vanderbilt, finished stadium or no finished stadium. The Commodores won 63-10 over Hawaii last year with over 600 yards of offense. But with both teams drastically improved from last season, this game has an opportunity to be a little bit closer than people think. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. We're so glad that you could join us today to break down Hawaii at Vanderbilt on Saturday night. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below, including our expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. If you want the spread pick for the game like this and every other college football game and NFL game as well, this is the place for you. One of the lowest prices in the country for the best picks in the country that have beat out over 80% of the national handicappers each of the last 5 years. We can guarantee you a winning record. We can guarantee you money right back in your pocket. We can guarantee the best customer service any handicapper in the world is going to give you, all right here at the Gridiron Expert and down in the description. Go take advantage of it today before our Week 1 picks come out, because our Week 0 picks are already out on our website. Check out our Patreon account for exclusive college football content year-round, and send us some gear. We'd love to get to represent your team's gear in every single Gridiron Expert video, whether it be Hawaii, Vanderbilt, or anybody else. Send us some gear to that mailing address so we can represent them, again, in every video all year long. So let's take a look at this game, guys. I mean, on a normal Saturday, 3 weeks from now, this game would just fly over everybody's head, right? No one would really care about Hawaii and Vanderbilt. But because we have a very limited slate on Saturday, a lot of eyes are going to be on Nashville as the Rainbow Warriors come to town. Now, Hawaii last year wasn't anything special, 3-10 in year 1 under Timmy Chang. Vanderbilt, on the other hand, 5-7, nearly making a bowl game, getting 2 big wins over Florida and Kentucky to get to 5-7 and earning 2 SEC wins, which is huge for Clark Lee. You take a look at the offense heading into this game for both of these programs. We'll start with Hawaii, the road team here. The run and shoot offense under Timmy Chang should be on full display, right? Last year they were implementing it. It wasn't exactly run to perfection. Wasn't exactly run the way they wanted it to. Should be a little bit better this year in year 2. This is still a team, though, that averaged 19.8 points per game and only 343 yards per game. So it still has a ways to go. But luckily for Hawaii, they do return a veteran quarterback in Braden Shager, who threw over 2,300 yards and 13 touchdowns last year. Tylan Hines also returned 634 yards last year rushing. So this is a Hawaii team that's got a star quarterback returning. They've got a star running back returning. But the offensive line is kind of the concern for me, right? That's my biggest concern for Hawaii entering this game on Saturday. The offensive line last year was phenomenal. Only allowed 20 sacks, which is pretty dang good for a full year. A full year where they played 13 games. But they lose a lot of production from that offensive line. Can the new pieces be plugged in quick enough and be effective quick enough against the strong Vanderbilt defensive line? You take a look at Vanderbilt's offense. This is one that I think has an opportunity to surprise a lot of people. Averaged just 24.6 points per game last year, which was actually their best mark since 2018. They have 7 starters back and finally have a competent, efficient, established quarterback. For years it was always, who's going to be the quarterback for Vanderbilt? Are they going to be any good? What can they do? This year they've got one. A.J. Swan, guys, is the real deal, and I'm really excited to see him in action. Over 1,200 passing yards, 10 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions last year with Vanderbilt. They do lose their top 2 rushers on offense, but to make up for that, they returned their top 3 pass catchers, led by Will Shepard, over 700 reception yards and 9 touchdowns last year. They've got Jaden McGowan and Quincy Skinner. Those 3 players combined for 14 of the 22 reception touchdowns from Vanderbilt last year. 14 of the 22 were caught by those 3 players. So Swan's got all of his top guys returning, and that could lead to a much improved Vanderbilt offense from top to bottom. The pass game going to be insanely good. The offensive line pretty solid after allowing just 15 sacks last year, which in the rugged SEC is pretty impressive. And the offensive line going to be very strong once again this year. You take a look at Vanderbilt's defense. That's Clark Lee's specialty, right? I mean, he's a defensive-minded guy returning to his alma mater, as we know. Defense needs work for Vanderbilt, right? They do. They only had 17 sacks last year, so the offensive line only gives up 15, but the defensive line only created 17. I mean, they just couldn't really figure it out defensively. But I do think they improve a lot from last year. I really do. 8 starters back on that side of the ball, 3 of those coming on the defensive line. So sack numbers should improve. The rushing defense should improve. Everything up front should improve for Vanderbilt in 2023. And that's huge going up against this Hawaii offensive line that has a lot of new pieces and isn't going to be as good as we want them to be. It isn't going to be as good as they were last year. So Vanderbilt automatically, to me, owning that extreme advantage in the trenches. And that's ultimately how you can win some games. You take a look at the secondary. They allowed 291 passing yards per game last year. It's a horrible mark. It's one of the worst secondaries, one of the worst passing defenses in the country last year. But that should improve as well. 3 starters back in the secondary for Vanderbilt. 3 of their top 4 tacklers returned. 9 of their top 12 tacklers overall returned. As a whole, Vanderbilt much more experience on both sides of the ball, and the defensive numbers should take a major leap forward. Hawaii, on the other hand, they need some work. 9 starters are back. That's huge. A lot of experience returning for Timmy Chang. That's big for them. But they gave up 34.7 points per game last year. 438 total yards per game last year, including over 600 in that last year's Week 0 meeting against Vanderbilt, where they lost against 63-10. But I will give Timmy Chang this. He utilized the transfer portal well. Hawaii adding a lot of depth and a lot of talent up front on that defensive line, try to come in here and match Vanderbilt's offensive line strength. You know, the secondary only allowed 225 passing yards per game, so the secondary for the Rainbow Warriors really wasn't all that bad, and the secondary returns everybody, so there's no doubt that the secondary is the strength of the team. So now, with that being said, we've got an intriguing battle here between this Vanderbilt passing attack that's got a good quarterback and their top pass catchers returning up against this Hawaii secondary that's going to be the strength of the defense and maybe the strength of the team as a whole. 4 of their top 5 tacklers do return, including their number 1 tackler and Logan Taylor at linebacker. So Hawaii, like Vanderbilt defensively, should take a major step forward. I could easily see them going for 34.7 points per game allowed, maybe all the way down to 30, which is about a 5-point decrease, which is still a pretty dang good improvement in the span of 1 year. So what's going to happen in Nashville, guys? Vanderbilt won by 53 in 2022. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think the margin is that large this year. But it is going to be a large margin in favor of the Commodores again. You look at this Vanderbilt team, guys. They have a pretty favorable start to the year, including this Hawaii game, where by midseason they could be flirting with bowl eligibility. Vanderbilt could get there. They carry a lot of, despite going 5-7, despite a losing season, winning those 2 conference games towards the end of the year gave Vanderbilt confidence, gave them hope, carries some momentum for this Commodores team into 2023. And the Commodores now have a, again, established solid offense, an improved defense, home field advantage, even though the home field may not be fully complete, might look terrible in the end zones. They've got that advantage going for them. Hawaii having to travel a long way to play the Commodores here. And I think this is at least a 14-point win for Vanderbilt. But I'm thinking it's going to be at least a 17 to 24-point win. I'm seeing that around there. At least a 3-possession game in favor of Vanderbilt. They're better on both sides of the ball. They will dominate in the trenches. This should be a big win for Vanderbilt, just like it was last year, just not nearly as big. 53 points, not going to be that, but still going to be solid. Great way to usher them into the real Week 1. 1-0 for Vanderbilt as they begin their quest to try to make a bowl game after just barely missing out last year. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Week 0 starts tomorrow. College football is back tomorrow. Wait is finally over. We're going to have these games and more coming your way on Saturday. And then on Monday, we begin Week 1 prep. Week 1 analysis. College football is finally back, guys. And we're going to have you covered every step of the way. So once again, as always, thank you so much for watching. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Check out everything down in the description below. Those expert picks over on thegridironexpert.com. We'll give you the spread picks for this game and tons more all season long with guaranteed winnings. Take advantage of it again down in the description below. Take advantage of the Patreon account. Send us some gear to our mailing address so we can represent your team in every single video. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.